It is with pride that I join you today in marking two important milestones. The launch of a Malik Bennabi Reader and the establishment of the International Institute of Future Studies. Though distinct, they are connected by a commitment to intellectual renewal, critical inquiry, and the shaping of a just future. They are endeavors that embody the spirit of Malaysia Madani. And thank you, Usman, Zamri, Tahir, and of course, Zia. Now, the unveiling of this two-volume work on the ideas and thoughts of Malik Bennabi is a cause for great delight. Bennabi's moral and intellectual convictions have profoundly shaped my own perspectives. So thank you again, Tahir Masawi, for bringing this admirable book to fruition. This may well be the most elaborate or comprehensive exposition of Bennabi's thought to have graced the printed page. It is a work destined to be a cornerstone reference for many years to come. Bennabi's homeland, Algeria, paid a heavy price for its freedom. It stems from a country with 1.5 million martyrs. Yet his vision was never shackled to one land alone. He saw the struggles of Muslims across Asia and Africa as shared struggles. He spoke not just for them, but for all of humanity. The subtitle of this is A Muslim Visionary in the Whirlwind of Colonial Modernity is succinct, evocative, and compelling encapsulation of Bennabi's intellectual and moral journey. Bennabi may have left us more than 50 years ago, yet his thoughts remain as timeless as they are profound. He sought to understand why some societies were vulnerable to domination while others thrive. I mean, this is essentially Khaldunian, about those subjugated. But from my initial readings, not to include your two volumes, Tahir, to me that's a source of great strength, to give that push, that challenge to the Ummah, that you can only be truly independent and mature as a society and succeed as a nation if you can overcome that captive mind being encapsulated by the colonial view. Bennabi, of course, understood that colonialism was not merely an external imposition, it was also an internal ailment made possible by the weaknesses within colonized societies. Now, Bennabi embraces his fears with deep compunction, and from that platform of rectitude reminds us that without the moral courage to grasp the guiding ideas of civilization. Now, guiding ideas, my Seri, was one of the themes of my Habib speeches in the late 70s. We will be doomed if we repeat the errors, because then we will be consigned to the dustbin of history. Thus, Bennabi called for a revival, not just in political terms, but in a deeper, more holistic sense, which I term is as Madani or script. To break free from the legacies of colonialism, societies had to dismantle the mindset of subjugation as much as the physical structures of imperial control. This meant rejecting the culture of empire and cultivating what he termed as culture of civilization. A beautiful French phrase that he used. I wouldn't dare try. That is rooted in the ethical and spiritual principles that define human dignity. Now, ethical, moral principles is in a deficit in today's world, in politics, in business, in the academia. And Bennabi called for this revival in a holistic sense. Now, he is also able to see through the illusions piercing the rhetoric of progress. Remember, the rhetoric of progress and civilization that colonial powers wielded to justify their subjugation of others. He recognized how modern science and technology, forces meant to uplift humanity, had been perverted into instruments of domination. Now, nowhere is this clearer today than in Palestine, where the tiresome and mendacious claim of defending the only democracy in the Middle East is wielded as a shield to justify the dispossession of an entire people. Modern military technology, surveillance systems, modern bureaucratic state have been deployed in the service of murder and subjugation. Just as in the colonial past, power cloaks itself in the language of security and stability, when in truth it is entrenching displacement and genocide. For Bennabi, true liberation was not merely political or economic. A society that grants political rights yet leaves its people in economic servitude is not truly free. Remember, Ramanan, what Ambedkar said: without social independence, social democracy, independence would be rendered meaningless. Nor is a society that ensures material security while suppressing intellectual and political freedom. Bennabi envisioned democracy as a synthesis where political and social democracy coalesce to ensure both liberty and dignity. This is the essence of Islamic democracy, or mushawara, of gotong royong, a system that frees people not only from external oppression but from internal servitude. So when the Quran declares that God does not change men's condition unless they change themselves, their inner selves, this is as much an injunction to bear responsibility for one's actions, and by extension into the arena of politics, clearly a commandment for accountability, without which democracy becomes a mere platitude. So I have popularized not just democracy, Zamri, democratic accountability. See? It's important for an UMNO leader to nod with me on this. Hence, our Madani framework of governance places paramount importance on democratic accountability.